Sonia Luna here over at Aviva Spectrum. I wanted to share a template that we created to help you decide and score properly the right accounting software for you and your team. Let's take a look at step one, which is making sure you involve your team, not only your internal team, but anybody outside of your team that you get a lot of advice from. Let me go through the template and how it works to incorporate all these stakeholders. Now in the template, there's three Excel tabs. This first tab to fill out is called ERP Selection Tasks. And there's a couple of things that need to be done, and you can check the status of where you're at, if you've completed them, if they're in progress, is something to be scheduled, etc. And there are a couple of criteria. It takes about 30 minutes to complete. And it does highlight what kind of software package should the team even evaluate for a demonstration, which we'll get into step number 2. After step 1, you're going to select a few vendors, hopefully 3, to check out their demos of how their software works. You're going to evaluate them on 9 criteria, and you're going to rate them from 1 to 3, 1 being the worst, 3 being the best. Now, when you rate them, you're going to look at 9 very specific critical criteria that I have seen in working on some of the largest accounts, but also in the mid-market accounts, meaning the smaller emerging companies that have a high growth potential. These are the same 9 critical criteria I would highly recommend for you to evaluate when you're picking your accounting package. So what is the scoring when you get to step 2? Here you're going to see one of the first 3 of the 9 criteria, which is adherence to what you wanted to ask from the software vendor, getting their company information, that's number 2. And number 3 is, does the vendor understand the project of what you're trying to achieve for your goals for getting an accounting package? And you'll see for the adherence to the instructions you asked from the software vendors, okay, you would want to know what kind of scoring you would give each of them in timeliness, completeness of them giving you information, the quality and professionalism in representing their software company. And on the right, you'll see column E is a basis for your score. You can write in text here to describe how did you score 1 to 3, what was the criteria for you, or even some notes that differentiate, let's say, between vendor 1 or 3 and so forth. Now, we all know that certain businesses have unique revenue sources or supply chain management issues. In the 9 that I mentioned earlier, this is item 5 that you'll be scoring each of the software vendors, and I've highlighted in yellow some of the criteria that you can either eliminate in the template or augment to your liking based on the actual services that you provide to your customers. Now, once you finish the first 2 tabs of the template, you're going to get to a scorecard. It does allow a lot of flexibility in scoring. It also allows the team, and you'll see in the various areas, that their concerns were not only heard, but they could actually objectively evaluate where their pain points were addressed by each of the 3 vendors that you take a look at. And it'll also highlight some of the shortcomings that you want to identify and where you're going to need to augment your business processes to address those shortcomings that some software packages may have. Now, this is the scorecard summary tab that I've circled here, and this is what the template looks like. You'll see the number 1 through 9 here when it comes to the criteria, and you'll see that this weight actually can be adjusted. My only request is that you keep this summary score at 100, and if you want to change this to 15 but you want to make this 10, wonderful. You'll see that the unweighted score, this is all linked to the tab that you conducted for vendor 1 or vendor 2. So the beauty of this template is there's already links to the summary total of what you scored for each criteria. Now, the weighted score. The weighted score takes these scores that you had, okay, multiplied by this weight. This is how important you thought it was, this adherence to instructions, etc. Okay, and then you're going to divide it by 3 because that's the maximum value you had. So in vendors 1, he had a 2 divided by 10 divided by 3 gets you 3.3. The overall weighted score is 61 points out of 100. Now vendor 2 got 82.8 points out of 100, and so most of you can see how vendor 2, when you weight what you felt was important, and you can change this up as you wish, vendor 2 outshined vendor 1 hands down. Where to download it, go to our website at avivaspectrum.com, and there's a section called downloads, and you can get access to this Excel spreadsheet template as well as our other templates that we provide to our community. Now, I'm hoping that you would have seen some of our other videos and connected with me, Sonia Luna, on LinkedIn. But just to give you a general overview of the firm, we have well over 13 years of experience. We are definitely one of the thought leaders when it comes to not only accounting packages, but mobile device and its security when it comes to accounting and patient data, client data, vendor data. We are also the #1 LinkedIn recommended firm. I myself have over 50 written recommendations, and our folks typically have a CPA, a CIA designation, and 8+ years on average experience. We have all the insurance requirements that you would expect from a high caliber consulting firm. I myself am a former advisor to the Securities Exchange Commission, and I am an active California CPA as well. I want you today to email me at info@avivaspectrum.com with a subject header called Accounting Software Analysis. It is complimentary to the community. I hold it twice a month, and we go over not only this template, but some of your other business concerns to make sure that you find the right accounting fit for your organization. We know you have a lot of choices in selecting a CPA firm to help you with your accounting and auditing needs. We hope that one of those that you look to is Aviva Spectrum. Thank you, and we look forward to connecting with you soon.